She has brought millions. I wouldn't be surprised if it's billions of eyes onto the W and onto women's sports. She is a Kobe Bryant, and that's how Diana was. That's how Sue was. Like, we've had these types of people, but this is just bigger because the media platform is bigger than it ever has been. I don't have an ego, so I'm able to just tell the truth. Like, if it was someone else, I'd be like, yeah, like Angel Reese, she's also brought millions of fans. You know what I mean? I think Caitlyn has brought way more, but I also think she has too. Like, I'm just not naive, and I might be blonde, but I'm not fucking dumb. People who say I'm clout chaser, no, I'm just being honest about why the league is where it is at. Give the girls the flowers, like, give it to them. They deserve it.
The truth is finally surfacing, and it's coming from someone who has never been afraid to call things exactly as they are. Sophie Cunningham has had enough of watching the WNBA disrespect the very player who dragged the league back from irrelevance, and she's no longer holding back. What makes her defense of Caitlin Clark so powerful isn't only the message itself, it's the fact that it's Sophie saying it, and that she's been saying it long before it became trendy.
Cunningham, if it wasn't for Sophie Cunningham's podcast, I never would have had this eureka moment. Sophie Cunningham came to the Indiana Fever in the offseason. She's been taking full advantage of every opportunity she's got. An opportunity on the court, ballin'. An opportunity to protect Caitlin Clark, did that. Off the court, endorsement deals. Off the court, advertisers are falling in love with her. We got Colin Cowherd saying, hey, Sophie, you want your own podcast? Sophie Cunningham says, sure, I'll take my own podcast. And what has Sophie Cunningham been doing on this podcast? Letting us in on some secrets? Yeah, I love that. Pulling back the curtain on some time? Yeah, I love that too.
This isn't some Johnny-come-lately hopping on the Caitlin Clark train for clicks or clout. This is Sophie Cunningham, the player who praised Clark while her own Phoenix Mercury teammates were scheming against her in the locker room. The same woman who spotted the Caitlin Clark effect before anyone else in the WNBA had the guts or the awareness to admit what was happening right in front of them.
Why does everybody hate Caitlin Clark? And do you hate Caitlin Clark? Come on, talk
dude.
to me.
Absolutely not. I think that she's a gem. I didn't know her, but All-Star Weekend, we kind of bantered back and forth a little bit. And she's lovely. She has a lot of pressure on her shoulders. And I think a lot of people always have a lot to say with people they don't even know or shoes they've never been in. And for me, I think she's handling the pressure very well. She's doing a lot of great things for women's basketball. And I'm a fan.
If you're enjoying this, don't forget to subscribe. While other WNBA players were ranking Caitlin Clark as only the 9th best point guard in the league, Sophie Cunningham was already calling her a gem and openly saying she wanted to play alongside her. And this wasn't after Clark had already silenced the critics. It wasn't after the TV ratings rolled in or the ticket numbers skyrocketed. This was when Clark was still being targeted by veterans who couldn't handle the spotlight she was shining on their struggling league in just her second year.
Ultimately, when you see all this vitriol of people who cannot stand her, it's like, okay, well, what has she done wrong? Yeah. She's a great basketball player, so you might not think it's fair that she's the face of the league, and that's understandable because there have been fantastic players in the WNBA for a long time. But Caitlin didn't disparage them. She just came in and kind of changed the game with her style. So I think it's one of those things where you have to say, okay, maybe I don't think it's fair based on the previous women who have been in this league, but it's not Caitlin's fault. All she's done is elevate the game for all of us. And I think instead of being pissed off about that, you should be appreciative of that and say, maybe it's not fair, but it's not your fault.
And I get other players, like they've worked hard and they've worked to build this league up over their time, and all of a sudden this young player comes in and now all the attention is on her.
The numbers don't lie about what Sophie recognized before the rest of the league. When WNBA players submitted their all-star ballots and placed Clark 9th among guards, even though she led everyone with over 1.2 million fan votes, it exposed everything wrong with the league's mindset. Dick Vitale called it pure jealousy, and he was spot on. But Sophie Cunningham had been pointing out that jealousy long before it became obvious to everyone else.
But time and time again, Sophie Cunningham has repeatedly been calling out the officiating. And what's one thing the WNBA holds over these players' heads? Ooh, I'm gonna fine you. Ooh, if you call out the officiating, I'm gonna fine you. The players say, no, I can't afford that. So they They keep it all hush-hush. But Sophie Cunningham, she's sitting on a pile of money. So when Kathy Engelbert hears her say something about the referees, Kathy says, here's a fine. And Sophie says, okay, here's payment.
Here's what makes Sophie different from the rest of the league. She understands the business side. She knows that when Clark's games pull in 2.7 million viewers, making it the most watched WNBA matchup in 25 years, you don't try to tear that down. You protect it. You build around it. You recognize that this has gone beyond basketball. It's about the survival and growth of women's professional sports as a whole.
So the Fever saw it coming. They went and got Sophie Cunningham, 6-year-old black belt. This is what the Bulls did with Charles Oakley to protect Michael Jordan. And I said this last year several times. The WNBA is not a vertical league. Their players can't jump over each other to score like the NBA. It's a horizontal chippy league. And you didn't watch the NBA for the last 10 to 12 years. It has always been physical and always been chippy. You get into a lot of collisions because there's no Ja Morant here. There's no Ant Edwards. They don't jump over. It's a horizontal physical league. And in Caitlin Clark now is like kerosene to the physicality flame. So you have physicality in this league, and now you get this flashy player, and they don't know how to officiate her, they don't know how to defend her.
When Sophie joined the Indiana Fever in 2025, she wasted no time making her stance clear. She has changed our game in the best possible way and every way. Cunningham told reporters, I want her to go do her thing, and whatever she needs from me, I'm going to be here. That wasn't polished PR language or a media-scripted soundbite. It was real recognition from someone who had seen with her own eyes what happens when a league is given the gift of a once-in-a-generation talent. The most damning moment came when Sophie revealed what was really happening behind the scenes during Clark's rookie season. Even when I wasn't on her team, I know the talks Phoenix had in their locker room of like, we're going to show her what the W really is. Cunningham admitted on her podcast, this wasn't just competitive spirit. This was organized targeting of a player whose only so-called crime was being too good too quickly and bringing more attention than the league was prepared to handle.
I mean, she has changed our game in the best possible way in every way. And so just to be alongside of her and maybe relieve the pressure, being able to shoot and spread the court for her to go do her thing. She's still young, and I think that I've been taken under, Diana took me under her wing, and I've learned a lot from her, and now I hope to kind of do the same for Caitlin if she wants it. I just think the relationship piece is huge, and when you're trying to do something great, it takes everybody. And so I want her to go do her thing, and anything she needs from me, I'm going to be here. But again, I think that just the competitor that I am, I'm fierce, I'm sassy, I stick up for my teammates, I stick up for myself.
And this is where Sophie's integrity really shines. She could have stayed silent. She could have gone along with the crowd. She could have allowed the bitterness and resentment to keep festering under the excuse of rookie treatment. But instead, she chose honesty, even when that honesty made her former teammates and colleagues uncomfortable. Every rookie coming into the league will get some of it, Cunningham admitted. But there's just more for her. It's her. Second year now. Being on her team and seeing it, I'm like, what are people doing? It's just too much.
I know the talks that Phoenix had in the locker room of no, we're gonna prove her, we're gonna show her what the W really is. You know what I mean? And I get it to a certain extent, and every rookie coming into the league, that's how you're gonna treat them. But there's just more for her. So it's her second year, and now being on her team and seeing it, I'm what are people doing? Actually, it's just too much. And it's just, I'm over. And if I'm saying it's too much, then it's probably too much.
No, that's so fair.
That's fair, right?
Yeah.
We didn't just talk about the issue. She stood in it. When Caitlin Clark was being hacked with cheap fouls and ignored by referees on obvious calls, Cunningham was the one who finally stepped up, refusing to let it continue. She knew silence would make her complicit, and she wasn't about to let Clark fight that battle alone. Her defense wasn't about grabbing headlines. It was about loyalty, fairness, and respect for the sport. The second Sophie called out the officiating double standards and the hostile treatment Clark was enduring, the entire narrative shifted. Social media exploded, fans rallied behind Clark, and suddenly, the league couldn't deny what was happening.